Welcome to the Palace of Presence, a virtual environment that lets you explore examples in which virtual reality applications create a sense of presence for their users. We are now at the main hall, where you can get familiar with the 4 high-level categories of presence via an excerpt of a talk.
I would say that experiential design requires holistic thinking. If you're going to be creating virtual reality experiences, you have to think about all different dimensions of what makes a good experience. So just like Ficino went back to Plato to get inspiration, I'm today also going back to Plato to look at some of these Neoplatonic ways of thinking, which is why I would say that looking at the elemental theory of presence is sort of the thing that I've been really focusing on a lot lately. So the air element being social and mental presence, of being able to communicate with other people. Active presence, that's anytime you're expressing your agency or will within an experience. Virtual reality is actually putting your body into media for the first time, so you actually have the sense that you have an embodied presence within virtual reality. And then emotional presence, I think, is probably the one thing that is probably the most overlooked in our culture overall, but there's a huge component for emotions and being really engaged within an experience. So if we take this framework and just apply it, the ancients actually said that all these 4 elements are happening all the time. You can't necessarily just isolate them. It's just maybe a center of gravity or so. So if we kind of think about that and say, what is the center of gravity of some of these existing mediums? We can look at gaming and say it's a lot about making choices with your mind and actually exerting your will into an experience. So it's a lot about agency and mental presence. Film, it's actually encompassing everything, but it's also a passive experience.
Embodied presence is a flavor of presence that contributes to our sense of self and/or a role in a virtual environment. It includes design patterns for limb coordination, movement through space, and embodying a role or a point of view. Watch the video to see how Eagle Flight on PlayStation VR puts the player into the point of view of a bird. This exemplifies the potential of virtual reality.
Hungry and alone in the dark, instinct compels you to move toward heat and light. Someone is waiting for you in the outside world. Your mother and father, and someone else. This is your family. Years of flying over Paris have taught your parents everything there is to know about the city. Each district is full of life, prey and predators, dark corners, safe